So a couple years ago, I made a Third Strike tier list video, and not only does it feel very outdated compared to my views on the tiers these days, it was also just a pretty poorly made video, the main problem being the audio quality. So I decided to remake this video with my updated list. Remember, tiers lists are not perfect, but are used to get a general idea of how strong a character is. I also want your guys' personal tier list, so leave them in the comments below. And if you're curious about my original list, here it is. With that out of the way, let's begin from the top. Kicking off S tier with Yun. I originally put Chun-Li at number 1, but let's be honest, I was wrong. Once Chun gets Ganasian, he is literally a Super Saiyan. The meter he needs for activation is very little, meaning he always has it, with nearly every hit leading into a massive combo plus Oki. Even without Ganasian, he is strong in the right hands, easily making him the strongest character in the game. I want to make a note here that I'm not basing these characters on how easy or difficult they are to use. I'm judging them solely on their strengths and weaknesses, regardless if they're easy or not to use. With that, number 2 is Chun-Li. Some might say she's number 1 for one of the two reasons. A, being that she's just really freaking good, and B, that she's quite easy to use, especially compared to Yun. Her gameplay revolves around getting a confirm into Super, which not only is it easy massive damage, she can also get a mix-up afterwards. On top of that, she has insanely fast and hard-hitting buttons, making it really hard to beat her in footsies. Chun-Li is insane in Third Strike, and I will not deny that, but Yun in the right hands is definitely more dangerous. Done with S tier already, and moving on to A tier, starting with Makoto. Similar to my old list, I still think Makoto is number 3 in this game. But let's be honest, she's not S tier. I think the only characters deserving of that title is Yun and Chun, but don't look down on Makoto, or anyone in A tier for that matter. Makoto is insanely strong and super oppressive with pressure. Her damage is that of a natural disaster. I can't believe I wrote that into the script. And given the right circumstances, can kill you in 2 hits, or even just 1. She usually isn't placed this high because of the lack of confirms she has. Brother, she can kill you with a grab. Next is Dudley. Yes, I promise Ken is next. I just think people overrate Ken a tad bit. Dudley is insane, crazy high damage, cheap setups with his Rose, crazy carry, his corkscrew is almost if not equally as good as Ken's SA3, and is just super well rounded. Dudley is often placed very high on tier lists, but is still underrated in my opinion. Alright, next is Ken. What honestly needs to be said, he is without competition the best Shoto in the game. He has great confirms, great damage, an evil Kara double DP, and has few bad matchups and always excels. It is no surprise why he is popular in high level play. Next is Shoryuken. This character is a beast in the right hands. The Aegis Reflector is one of the best supers in the game and can be used for unblockables and pressure, leading into crazy juggles. And he almost always has meter for another one, so if you manage to survive the first, it's probably not over. Only problem is that a lot of his buttons have slow recovery frames, leading to very unfortunate punishes. Next is Yang. He is an off-brand Yun, but still really good. Fast buttons, good pressure, and a really strong Rekka, being the only Rekka character in Third Strike actually. He may not be as good as Yun, but is still really strong in his own way. His version of the Ganasian is honestly still great and acts as Third Strike's version of Vism. Next is Ryu. I'm sure you've heard the term before, that Ryu is a B tier character with an S tier super art. And it's so true. Ryu is already quite solid, but the Denjin Hadouken is almost Ganasian levels of broken, making a skilled Ryu easily A tier worthy. Akuma. Despite his low health, Akuma is kinda broken. He feels like a Street Fighter 4 character, constantly vortexing you with mix-ups and high damage. The instant raging demon setups almost made me put this guy above Ryu. And lastly on A tier, my boy the Chicken Man himself, Oro. Oro is honestly a great choice. He is one of the more difficult characters to play, but is very rewarding, with many powerful tools in his arsenal. Like unblockables, a double jump, 2 excellent supers when most characters can only really choose one viable option. The only real flaws with Oro is that his low attacks kinda suck, and all of his grabs switch side, even his command grab, meaning his corner pressure can be kinda predictable, cause if Oro grabs, he loses corner. Now let's move on to B tier with Elena. Elena has a similar game plan to Chun-Li actually, but sadly just not as strong. Her Brave Dance simply don't match Chun-Li's SA2, and her SA1 is just a worse version of Ken's SA3 or Dudley's Corkscrew. She does have high points though. Great buttons, good combos, healing can be a sneaky strategy to gain the advantage, Grave Grab was a good Kara. She is a very solid character, but just barely misses A tier for me. Next is Q. Honestly underrated. His taunt is the best in the game, which increases his defense up to 3 times, making him almost unkillable. This forces his opponent to play aggressive. Yes, this can lead to Q getting bullied, but also opens opportunity for throw whiff strats or massive damage.
Now you see here, this one is Necro. Necro's a bit of an awkward character, but in the right hands, he works. He's got great range, good damage, a scary overhead, and he's got some good stuns. He's also got some scary stun juggles in the corner, which he can access with the grab. He may not be great, and he has some bad matchups like IEQs, but he can be a strong pick if you're good.
Next is everyone's favorite ninja, Ibuki. To be honest, she's just the worst Akuma. With her vortexing you with high speed and mix-ups, but just don't have the damage that Akuma has. She's a really cool and fun character, and honestly still solid. Just kinda gimmicky. Next is Hugo. Hugo is a weird one because he kinda sucks. He gets bullied worse than Q, but his 720 SPD is a nightmare to fight against. If the Hugo player is good enough, all it takes is one mistake and... he also has some surprisingly decent buttons and good frame trapping. Next with C tier is Remy. Oh my boy Remy. It's self-explanatory why Remy sucks. He relies on anti-airs for damage and fireballs for zoning and pressure, but you can parry both, leaving his main game plan flawed and easily cheesed from the get-go. There are some insane Remy players out there that take advantage of charged buffering and partitioning to make him stronger, literally glitches. But even then, I think he is barely above Alex. I really want Alex to be better, but he's just not. He has some good buttons, but he is oddly bulky and can get lamed out a lot. All his high damage stuff is risky and just can't keep up with most of the cast. I'm not saying he can't work, anyone in Third Strike can work if you're skilled enough, but Alex's journey is a rough one. Next is Sean, and I am being very generous putting him in C tier. He got decent damage, a couple of okay buttons, and his basketball can be used for some shenanigans, albeit not to the level Dudley can. And that's it. He is by a long shot the worst Shoto, with intentionally bad frame data, bad combos, and his super stuff. I want to note, all the other Shotos are in A tier, and I want to again reiterate that I'm being very generous putting him at the bottom of C. And the final tier, D tier, with only one character, and of course that's 12. What can I say that hasn't been said before? He has awful matchups, his glide is easily lamed out, no damage, combos are basically non-existent, and his supers are mediocre. His invisible taunt animation is so slow it's practically useless. He just sucks. To give credit where credit is due, his standing light punch and medium punch are honestly good buttons. His X NDL is a good damage anti-air, and that's it. I wish he had a confirm into an X needle, because again, it is decent damage, but he can't even really combo into it. So that's my personal updated Third Strike tier list. I'll never claim to hold the definitive list, but I'm pretty happy with this one. With that out of the way, tell me your tier lists, or how you would change this one. And until next video, have a good one.